Coming up, the majority of the British population believe that Brexit is done already. Those of us who pay attention know that until today, 1st of January 2022, it was not even half done, with import checks on goods coming into the UK delayed for a year to lessen the cost and disruption of Brexit to UK businesses and consumers. And now, Brexit checks on goods entering the UK from Ireland have yet again been postponed till later in 2022, with no coverage of this Brexit reality in the pro-Brexit and pro-government media. If you enjoy the channel, please like this video, subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of future videos. At the last minute, the UK delayed the introduction of trade checks on goods moving from the island of Ireland to Britain, as the last Brexit minister, the unelected bureaucrat David Frost, succeeded in disrupting talks with the EU on post-Brexit arrangements for Northern Ireland through a mixture of arrogance, aggression and ignorance. Frost, his handler Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson and his successor Dim Lizzie Truss all realised that actually implementing these Brexit trade checks from today would be a disaster for UK businesses and consumers alike, as the government desperately backpedal from what was once labelled the oven-ready deal and whose virtues were sung from the rooftops by every swivel-eyed Johnson supporter. The Downing Street cabal have been trying to spin this capitulation to Brexit reality as some sort of good faith action on the part of the UK to enable talks with the EU over the withdrawal agreement to resume this month. Up until a month ago, there was widespread media speculation that Johnson was willing to scupper the negotiations by unilaterally suspending the arrangements for Northern Ireland by triggering Article 16 of the withdrawal agreement. Don't know if you've noticed, but there's been a very big softening of the government's approach in recent weeks as reality continues to bite. And they now realise that a potential trade war with the EU would brutally expose the whole Brexit project as the scam that it always was, and lay bare the truth that Brexit was probably all about the Brexit liars protecting their wealth from proposed new EU laws on taxation of offshore investments. Meanwhile, the Northern Ireland Protocol within the withdrawal agreement means the province stays in the EU's single market and a de facto customs border remains down the Irish Sea, in a tangible reminder that despite his promises to the contrary, Johnson's promises can never be trusted. The consequences on trade between Britain and Northern Ireland have been heavy, while trade between Northern Ireland and the EU, mainly in the guise of the Irish Republic, has grown significantly. And this is the issue that the UK government are trying to address. They want to reduce the effects of the Irish Sea customs border. The EU made proposals that would have seen checks on goods travelling between Britain and Northern Ireland reduced by 50%. But Frosty the No Man said no. He wanted a total rewrite of the deal that he himself had helped draft and implement and boasted of as a fantastic deal less than 12 months previously. I mean, quite frankly, although he was too thick to understand this, it was quite embarrassing both for him and the country. His resignation was the only way out for the government, who wanted to quietly drop the aggressive and bombastic Frost's demands that the European Court of Justice, the ECJ, lose its role as arbiter of EU law in Northern Ireland. A role that, again, he himself had designed to be a fundamental part of the deal only months previously. With Frosty the No Man gone, the U-turn has now been made. And although Dim Lizzie Truss has no expertise, insight or experience in this area, her lack of baggage over Northern Ireland, and without Frost's baggage of pig-ignorant, undiplomatic posturing over red lines, sources on both sides are now saying that a deal is looking more likely than not. So expect to see warlike talk of Article 16 being triggered to fade away as far bigger Brexit calamities grab the headlines. EU exporters of cheese, car parts and other goods are facing a mountain of Brexit red tape to continue sales to Britain from today, as the much-delayed post-Brexit checks and controls on imports from the EU are finally implemented a year later than planned. But not all of them. A further set of controls have been pushed back even further till July. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, the UK government have also exempted the Republic of Ireland, saying that import checks would be delayed for goods crossing the Irish Sea while talks over the Northern Ireland Protocol continued. And you have to ask yourself, if Brexit is so great, why all these delays and carve-outs and exceptions so that they can actually implement the damn thing? That's a rhetorical question, of course. From today, complex and time-consuming paperwork will be required by HMRC for all imports from the EU. EU traders will no longer be allowed to defer completion of customs declarations, a measure previously introduced to help cope with Brexit, or to cover up the devastation of Brexit if you prefer. Exporters will have to pre-lodge the paperwork before their goods are loaded onto a ferry or train at Calais or other entry points. And there's masses of other admin to do too. Declarations in relation to the rules of origin must be completed to determine whether tariffs are applicable or not. And then the next Brexit tsunami hits in July, with the final set of controls on products of animal and plant origin coming into force, with export health certificates and phytosanitary certificates required for all consignments, however small. But that said, there appears to be no way that HMRC are ready or organised to actually implement checks and issue these certificates, which is peak Brexit, isn't it? HMRC reckon that the number of customs declarations needing to be processed will rise from an estimated 48 million last year to 250 million now that just this latest stage of Brexit controls are implemented. And if you think, why don't the UK public know about this? Then just imagine the level of awareness the other side of the channel. EU traders in the main have no idea what's hitting them today. And so there's a widespread lack of preparation amongst all but the most switched on and largest European companies. Although the UK has been separated from the EU for a year in theory, the delays by the British government in applying Brexit import controls have left small and medium-sized European companies with the impression that there's nothing to worry about over Brexit. Just watch out for further product unavailability and further untold Brexit damage to our economy.
Welcome to the Brexit, sir. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.